They say a photograph can freeze a moment in time. But what if that moment was a lie? What if everything you believed about your family, your past, and your identity was built around a single faded image, an image tucked between the pages of a Bible you were never supposed to open? This is the story of Maya and Liam Hart, 14-year-old twins who buried their mother on a quiet spring morning, and by sunset, met the father they never knew existed, a billionaire. A man whose face they had seen only in an old photograph. A man who arrived not with flowers or condolences, but with a truth that shattered everything they thought they knew. Stay with us, because what starts as a tearful reunion at a grave becomes a story of betrayal, redemption, and a family's second chance. The funeral was small. Just a few neighbors, a choir from the local church, and two silent teenagers with hollow eyes. Maya clutched the sleeve of her brother Liam's blazer as the casket was lowered into the earth. Sarah Hart had died in her sleep. A sudden aneurysm, no warning, no goodbyes. The twins, born just 2 minutes apart, had no grandparents, no uncles, no one. Their world had always been the three of them, Maya, Liam, and their mother, and now it was just two. Rain drizzled on the headstones as the pastor mumbled his final prayer. But Maya wasn't listening. Her eyes were locked on the lone item she had carried in her pocket, a photograph, one her mother had kept hidden for years. A younger version of Sarah stood beside a man they'd never met. He had dark eyes, a businesslike smile, and a name scribbled on the back. James. Liam had found it the night before the funeral, tucked into the back of their mother's old Bible. "Who is he?" Maya had whispered. Liam just shook his head. "Maybe our dad?" The question had hung over them like fog. As mourners began to leave, Maya noticed the car. A sleek black Audi rolled to a slow stop on the gravel road. The door opened, and a man stepped out. Tall, sharp suit, silver cufflinks, and an expression Maya couldn't read. Somewhere between fear and grief. He didn't approach the crowd. He walked directly toward the grave, directly toward them. "Maya, Liam," the man said softly, voice hoarse. They flinched. He knew their names. I'm James. James West." The name hit like a thunderclap. Maya looked at Liam, then at the photo. Same eyes, same jaw. "I'm your father," James said. They didn't speak to him at first. James gave them his number, left a card, and walked away. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She sat at the kitchen table, flipping through her mom's journals, ones she wasn't allowed to touch. And there it was, page after page of unsent letters, each one addressed to James. "They look just like you. I hate that I still love you. I didn't tell you because I didn't want them to grow up with a father who wasn't ready. If you ever find them, be better than you were with me." Maya woke Liam. Together, they read until sunrise. They called him the next afternoon, agreed to meet in a public place, the small diner by the bus station. James arrived early, nervous, hands fidgeting. "I didn't know about you," he said. "If I had, I would have been there. I swear to you." Maya studied him. "Then how are we supposed to believe you now?" He pulled something from his coat, a photograph, a copy of the one they had. "She gave this to me the day we broke up," James said. "Before she disappeared from my life. I looked for her, but she changed cities, changed names. I didn't know she was pregnant. If I had, everything would have been different." Liam leaned back. "You're a CEO, right? Why come now?" James's voice cracked. "Because your mother just died, and the only thing worse than not knowing I had children is realizing I might lose them before I get the chance to make things right." DNA didn't lie. 3 weeks later, the test came back. 99.99% match. James West, billionaire, founder of West Tech Global, the man who graced business magazines, was their biological father. What followed was chaos. News articles, gossip blogs, secret twins of tech tycoon. James tried to shield them from the media, moved them to a private school, set up a trust fund, but none of it filled the hole Sarah had left. None of it replaced 14 years of silence. And still, Maya kept that old photo, the original, the one her mother had touched, because some part of her still believed the past had more secrets to give. Just when the twins thought the answers were behind them, a letter arrived, mailed weeks before Sarah's death, from a P.O. box in Chicago. No return name, but one sentence on the envelope. He's not telling you everything. The envelope was thick, yellowed at the edges. Addressed in pen to Maya and Liam Hart, it had been mailed from Chicago 2 weeks before Sarah's death. The handwriting was unmistakable. Their mother's, but it wasn't signed. Inside were 2 things, a short note and a photograph. The note read, "If you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and that James found you. I don't know what story he's told, but you need to understand, he's not who you think. Look in the blue tin, top shelf of my closet. Don't trust anyone else until you know the whole truth." The photograph showed James, younger, standing beside a woman who wasn't Sarah, a red-haired woman holding a toddler. The back was dated July 2010, Chicago. Maya felt her throat close. Liam stared in silence. "Mom left us a trail," he said. She knew this would happen. The blue tin was hidden behind winter scarves and a stack of old Christmas cards. Inside were documents, letters, and an unlabeled flash drive. The letters painted a different portrait of James. One filled with charm, yes, but also abandonment. After Sarah found out she was pregnant, she tried to contact him. 3 times, no response. A return letter from West Tech's legal department told her to cease and desist. Maya's hands trembled as she read. "He knew," she whispered. "He just didn't care." Liam clicked through the flash drive. It contained scanned bank deposits, large payments made to a woman named Cassandra Blake. One note said, "Final transfer. Chicago arrangement. Keep quiet." They didn't tell James. Not yet. Instead, the twins told their school they were taking a week off for family reasons and booked a bus to Chicago. They had an address, Cassandra's, from the bank statements. Cassandra Blake was older now, maybe mid-40s, sharp cheekbones, tired eyes. When she opened the door and saw the twins, she didn't look surprised. "You're hers, aren't you? Sarah's kids." She didn't invite them in, just stepped onto the porch and closed the door behind her. "I told her this would happen." Cassandra wasn't just James's ex. She was the mother of his first child, a boy named Caleb, born 1 year before Maya and Liam. "She thought she was the only one," Cassandra said. "But James, he had secrets. He always had secrets. Sarah found out about me after she was already pregnant. And when she confronted him, he vanished. Told her he was building his empire and had no room for distractions." Cassandra had kept quiet because she was paid to, but she saved the paperwork, emails, voice messages, financial agreements, just in case. "I'm done being quiet," she said. "He bought silence, not loyalty." When they returned home, James was waiting. "Where were you?" he asked, calm but concerned. "Chicago," Maya said plainly. Liam added, "We met Cassandra." The color drained from James's face. He sat down, slowly, like the air had left his body. "I was going to tell you," he said. "I just didn't want to lose you before I even had a chance." "You already lost us once," Maya replied. He looked at them with more pain than they expected. Everything I did was wrong. I was selfish. I was scared. But I never stopped loving your mother. I just didn't know how to love her right. The confrontation cracked something open. James admitted to everything, the payments, the denials, the lies, but he also admitted something unexpected. He had tried to find Sarah again years later, only to discover she had legally changed her name and moved. She didn't want to be found, he said. Maya didn't know what to believe, but Liam, who had always been quieter, asked the one question they both feared. "Do we have a brother?" James nodded. "Yes, his name is Caleb. He's 15. He's your half-brother." 3 siblings, 3 lives built on silence and secrets. As Maya opened a new letter from their mother, one tucked inside another envelope hidden in the tin, her eyes filled with tears. It was a map, hand-drawn, leading to a place Sarah had circled in red, "For the truth. Go here." An old apartment building, abandoned. The cab dropped them off on the corner of 59th and Arlington, a forgotten stretch of South Side Chicago. The building was 3 stories tall, its brick walls stained by decades of rain, windows broken, a rusted gate chained shut. Liam jimmied the side door with a pocket tool. It clicked open. Inside, dust hung in the air like ghosts. The hallways were covered in peeling wallpaper and old memories. 3rd floor, Unit 3B. That's where the map pointed. They pushed open the door. The apartment had been untouched for years, but everything inside was familiar. A small twin bed, a coffee-stained writing desk, a cracked mirror above the dresser, and taped to the wall, a photograph of their mother, pregnant. Liam found the box first, wedged under the floorboard beneath the bed. Inside, old receipts, a black-and-white ultrasound photo, a hospital admission bracelet with the name Sarah Allen, and a worn leather journal. Maya flipped to the first page. "This is for you, Maya and Liam, for when I'm gone, for when you're old enough to know." What followed was a confession, one that tied every broken piece together. Sarah hadn't just fled James because of betrayal. She'd fled because of fear. In the journal, Sarah detailed an argument with James's father, Everett West, a ruthless corporate mogul who had built the foundation of West Tech. When Sarah revealed her pregnancy to James, Everett had intervened. "Abort it," he told her, "or disappear." When she refused, a cascade of threats followed: surveillance, intimidation, the loss of her nursing license through fabricated allegations. James, under pressure, ghosted her completely, whether by choice or fear. Sarah never knew. She fled Chicago, changed her name, moved to a small town, started over, and kept her children safe. When they returned, James was at the estate, waiting. They showed him the journal. He read in silence. No defense, no denial. "My father was a monster," James said. "He controlled every part of my life, my job, my friends, even who I loved. I wanted to fight back, but I was weak." "And now?" Maya asked. "Now I have you, and I'm not weak anymore." But trust, once broken, doesn't return with promises. Liam said, "You need to tell Caleb." James nodded. He deserves the truth, too. It was awkward, tense. Caleb met them in a quiet park near his mother's home. He looked like James. Same intense eyes, same square jaw. But there was a wary edge to him. "So you're the twins," he said, arms crossed. "And you're the brother we didn't know we had," Maya replied. There were no hugs, just stories, hours of stories, of Sarah, of Cassandra, of the life James had fractured across state lines. By the end, the silence softened. "We missed a lot," Caleb said, "but maybe we don't have to miss everything." With Everett West now deceased, James was free to make his own decisions. He invited Maya, Liam, and Caleb to the West Tech headquarters in New York. At a board meeting, James announced a rebrand, a new division focused on education and opportunity for single-parent families, the Sarah Allen Initiative, and with it a scholarship in her name, for nurses, for mothers, for anyone who had been silenced. The media took notice, but the family stayed quiet. For them, it wasn't about headlines, it was about healing. As Maya packed up the last of Sarah's things, she found one final envelope, addressed to all 3 kids. Inside, a key and a note. "There's one more truth. It's time you knew what I never told anyone. It's in the lake house." The lake house. The place Sarah had once said was just a dream we couldn't afford. But what was waiting there would change everything. The drive took 7 hours. James insisted on going with them, but the twins said no. This was something they had to do alone. Lake Reeve was as quiet as Sarah had always described it, a small cabin tucked between trees, half sunken into the hillside. The lock clicked open easily with the key. Inside was dust, time, and her scent, lavender and old books. On the fireplace mantel sat 3 sealed letters, each with a name written on the front. Maya, Liam, Caleb. Maya opened hers first. The letter was short, handwritten, and trembling with emotion. "I didn't run because I hated James. I ran because I loved you more than I feared him. I wanted you to grow up without shadows. But now you're older, and you deserve to know all of me. The scared parts, the broken parts, and the strong parts, too. I didn't want you to forgive me. I just wanted you to understand." Liam's letter held pieces of advice, strength, a mother's blueprint for becoming a man. Caleb's was longer, a confession and a welcome. "You may not have had me in childhood, but you have me now. You are just as much my son as the others are. If you choose to accept that, my heart will rest easier." Liam noticed it first, a panel behind the bookshelf that didn't sit flush. They moved it aside, a hidden room. Inside, a wall of photographs, not just of the twins, of Caleb, of James, of Cassandra, a family tree made in secret. In the center, a video camera still working with one recorded message saved, dated 4 months before Sarah's death. They pressed play. Sarah's face filled the screen, older, tired, but steady. "If you're seeing this, then I've left you one last gift. Not money, not apologies, just truth. The truth that no matter how complicated this world is, love can still be the reason we fight, the reason we heal. I loved your father. I loved all 3 of you, and I need you to remember that love, not the lies." They drove back changed. The lake house stayed behind them. But what they carried was heavier than luggage. When they reunited with James, Maya handed him the letters. He read them in silence, tears running down his cheeks. "I should have fought harder," he said, "but I will now. For all of you." The next weeks were full of transitions. Caleb moved in temporarily. Maya and Liam finished school. James stepped back from day-to-day operations at West Tech. Not everything was perfect, but it was real. And that was enough. 1 year later, they returned to the grave, all 3 siblings, and James. They didn't cry. They laughed. They placed fresh flowers, a framed photo of their entire family, new and old, and read aloud parts of the letters. "She would have liked this," Liam said. Maya nodded. "She gave us everything, even after she was gone." And Caleb, who had once been a ghost in their story, whispered, "She gave me back a family." Not all reunions begin with balloons and welcome signs. Some start at graves. Some begin with anger. Others with love disguised as silence. But every now and then, life gives you a second chance to rewrite the ending. This was Sarah Allen's story. But more than that, it became Maya's, Liam's, Caleb's, and James's. Because in the end, family isn't just who raises you. It's who stays. It's who fights to be in your life, even when it's hard, even when it's late. And sometimes, the greatest stories begin with goodbye. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more heart-touching stories that remind us what really matters. Comment below. What would you do if you met the parent you never knew at your mother's grave? Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay kind, stay brave, and stay open to the unexpected.